Welcome back to FFB, amigos. And today we get a win. A much needed win against Leicester City. 1-0 to Chelsea. We're back to winning ways. Yes, with some easy games, but absolutely some needs that we needed. First, let's get into it. Please subscribe to this channel if you want some great Chelsea updates and a little bit about what's going around in the Premier League. Let's jump right into it. Shock when the lineup came up. Why? Jorgensen in goal. No, today. Not today. We brought back Robert Sánchez, the claim number one from Maresca. And fortunately, there were no horrors from him today, but it was a bit risky, and Chelsea fans don't really like that. If you're Jorgensen, are you flirting with Mrs. Maresca? What are you doing, brother? I think it's time to put in a transfer request because I don't understand, and many of the Chelsea fans don't understand why you're being dropped. I think you deserve an opportunity of a longer run of games. Sánchez played both the Cup and the Premier League game. So I'm really hoping that there's a reason we don't know about that is keeping him away from playing at least one of those two games. That felt a little bit cruel in my opinion. And also a little bit surprising that we saw some changes, which is always fun. And the other one is to see Fofana coming in at right back. And he'd had a great game. We're going to get into that a little bit, but he was bombing up and down. He was one of the few players that in the first half was really trying to be aggressive and offensive and breaking lines. So it was really good to see him. But I was a little scared to see him coming back from injury, to be honest, in a position where he's going to run more than he normally does as the center back. So that was a little scary. But I'm glad it worked out. On the first minute when the Chelsea game starts, we get a call for a penalty. Palmer drops in the box, and it doesn't get it. I thought it was soft. I don't think he deserved it. And later, talking about penalties, we'll see. Minute 18, Sancho wins a penalty for Chelsea. Again, a little bit of a weak one, but a penalty nonetheless. He looked for it and he got it. And you know what the sad part? Palmer has the record in the Premier League as the most consecutive, penalties scored. But as he was picking up that ball, something in the hearts of many Chelsea fans, including myself, knew he was going to miss it, man. Again, like I told you guys, está meado por el diablo. The devil's pissed on him, and he's really out of luck. And, of course, he missed the penalty. Granted, he took the penalty really well, but it was an amazing save by the keeper. Minute 30, Sanchez comes out. That was my first concern. He comes out for a cross, completely misses it, and Tosin almost, skims the ball with a header that hits our own post. That was a little scary. It led to a corner, but nothing came from it. In the 40th minute, just a little bit of a mention, nothing too crazy happened, but Neto's doing these really great runs in from behind. I don't think sometimes we find him, but he's doing them. His hold-up play is not that bad. I like how he's shifting. That's this false nine for him. He's the best that we got, and I'm happy that we have him in the team, and I'm happy that he's doing a great job. And after this run on behind, he passes to Nkunku, and he shoots on target, a pretty weak shot, to be honest. And then a corner comes into him, pretty close to the box, header all alone, weak. So Nkunku, at the end of the first half, what do I have? Caicedo played well. He sprayed some balls, one of the few players that was trying to play forward. We do this reset with Maresca, which is frustrating to all the Chelsea fans because we end up playing back the keeper, in this case to our favorite keeper, to Sanchez. We end up playing when we recover the ball, so it's possession-based, it's possession-heavy, and sometimes there's not any forward, no forward aggression on the ball. But certainly, Caicedo, which is not called upon to do that very often, found himself doing that a couple of times, and he did it successfully. And at the first half, I'm already saying, I hope that there's a way to replace him. I'm sad because we should have scored one or two in the first half so we can take him out so he doesn't get a yellow and he can play against Arsenal in the next game because he got a lot of yellows. When you're a lone DM playing on a team that gets murdered on the transition, it's hard to live life without a yellow card. So we really want him against Arsenal. We're playing away to Arsenal next. But in any case, he had a good match. But Chelsea was incredibly boring that match. There was that first half. There was no aggression. And I was watching it with George Benson on the watch along, and he was saying, and I agree, hopefully this time it's the other way around. We're very boring in the first half, but we managed to close out a game rather than having a lot of, vertical play in the first half and then struggling to hold on to the lead. So, much good news in terms of that. In terms of play, the first half wasn't great at all. Palmer, no magic. Again, the magic is gone. Leicester were better than us in transition. and they were organized and doing well. So there is credit to Leicester. It's not like Chelsea just did a poor match, but actually Leicester really organized and did well. And it's a team that's been struggling before Ruud van Nistelrooy came in, and now with Van Nistelrooy, their record seems to have gotten pretty bad. But kudos to them. I think with a lesser team, they managed to have a decent game, if you ask me personally. On the 52nd minute, again, a good Neto shot, from a good counter. I like what he's doing. And in the 60th minute, finally, the man, the legend, Estrella, he eats Bahia, Cucurella. Vamos, Cucurella. Vamos, Cucurella. Comes in for the save, giving us this Marcos Alonso vibes, left back scoring. We know that he plays this crazy path that I love, which is left back into the DM slot, into the 10, and he arrives late into the box, sometimes in a position where you would expect or hope that your 9 or wingers are, but he happens to do that. But in this case, he strikes from outside the box, a beautiful little goal, a low shot by the post, 1-0, 60th minute. We got 30 minutes to go. Chelsea, I'm getting a little bit nervous. But you have a little spell where we're doing a little bit better. In the 69th minute, there's a nice little counter, which we've missed. That aggressive Chelsea fast play forward that was blistering pace that even made Maresca uncomfortable at the beginning of the season when we were winning matches, because he would say that he wanted a little bit more control. But that's when we were scoring the most goals, especially now without having the forwards. I know that that's a problem, because no matter how aggressive you are in attack, if nobody puts it in the back of the net, now you're just exposed for no reason. But it's exciting, and in the fans, we like to see that. So finally it comes in, and there was a couple of good shots in the 69th minute. But Palmer, again, fails to pass a couple of times. Look, I'm not going to criticize him. I think he's technically the best player in Chelsea, and he still had an amazing season. His stats are still high because he had such a great beginning. But he struggled. And he played now this game a little bit more on the right. I want to make a pause there also to speak about Nkunku. I don't know where he was. And Sancho didn't have a good game either, but Nkunku just nowhere. And I hate that a couple of balls he doesn't fight for them, split balls, divided balls with players. He doesn't fight enough hard in the recovery, and you can't get away with that. You can get away with that if you turn around and you're incredibly decisive, and you can forgive that kind of thing, but not if you're not putting the ball in the back of the net or doing something else wonderful in the game. And I think he wasn't there at all, and that's a sad thing to watch. Many Chelsea fans are thinking, time to go, puppy. Time to go. That he really wants to go. He doesn't want to be there. And if that's the case, then I'd rather see Tyreek George, or anyone for that matter, that's going to really try and give it a shot. In any case, he had a recent good game, but not that one. Then all the changes came in, which is a little terrifying because we wanted to see Caicedo out because we were scared that he's going to get another yellow, especially the type of game he's forced to play and having to do all those recoveries. This guy's magic. This is a world-class player. This player would play in any team in the world as a starter. I'm talking Real Madrid, any game, any team. His recovery, his ability, his fast pace. He's always available for a pass, giving a solution for all the center backs trying to play out, or to find. He's in behind providing support. His recovery is just. Many people are saying we found the Kante replacement. I think so too. I think he's world class, and I hope that we can keep him without getting injured. That we can get him some rest, but. He wasn't one of the ones that was able to come out. You can't bring him out. We're too dependent on him. We're far more dependent on him throughout the season we've been, if you ask me, than with Palmer. I don't know what would happen when he's out, and I think that's part of bringing James in a little bit into midfield, which again was out on illness today. But the idea is bringing him in so there's more support, and hopefully Lavia comes back too, right? And then we'll be able to have some DM support. And I really wish James develops that position really well, which he's more than capable of, because that's an engine room right there, and that's a lot of power in the midfield, and then we can really dominate games. That would be great to see, but excited about that. And in case the changes bring something nice, and Palmer's out, but I think the creativity was still there. I really like that. My notes at the end of the match: Caicedo, man of the match, absolutely. I know Cucurella should get it. To me, comes in second because he scored a goal, and as most games, he played a great match. But again, the importance of Caicedo, most fans don't see what he's doing in the back, but he's cleaning up shop. He's keeping up solid. He's defending the line, providing an avenue to counter. He recovers all over the field, and he managed to do this all without getting a yellow, and that's pretty damn amazing if you ask me personally. And Palmer, that's another one of my notes. Not great, and he was taken out, and I don't think we missed him very much. Fofana came in. He actually left with the subs as well, but he came in very aggressive. I like what I saw. I was scared of him getting injured, but he did really well. Enzo, another one of my notes there. I feel like I can trust him now. I haven't trusted him at all since he came to Chelsea, and I didn't like how he started with the captain this season and all that stuff that happened. But I can trust that he's putting in a shift now, and he's putting in the hard work, and he's being decisive, and he's finding good passes, and he's starting to be consistent in his play. And I don't want to jinx it, but I really appreciate that. The best news of it all is that we kept a clean sheet, guys. Hallelujah. We kept a clean sheet. Finally, we kept a clean sheet. Yes, I know, it's Leicester. We beat Southampton, Leicester. They're like relegation teams. But still, this is needed. This is something that we can build on. Now we have a huge one coming up. But in any case, that's the biggest thing. And technically, we're back into the top 4. So we own our own destiny. Of course, what I believe should have happened with this run of games that we spoke about come December, when we were supposed to do the best because we had the weaker opposition, a great run of games, we should be solid in second or third spot with maybe at least 6 to 10 points more than we have right now. So we would just be a lot easier to defend when we have the top 6 coming up, games that we have against the tougher teams. We can drop some points here and there, and we could land in top 4. Now it's going to be a real fight, a real battle out there. Bournemouth beating Spurs. I don't know where that ended, and now I'm excited to go watch the Arsenal-Man United game, which again is not the game that it used to be, not the legendary game that it used to be back when I was younger. So speak of glory days gone. Speaking of Chelsea glory days gone, they're suffering some of that a little bit over there as well. Not a little bit, a lot suffering that over there. But excited to watch that match. In any case, whatever happens, we are in a Champions League position this match day, and that's really good for Chelsea. So please like, subscribe, give me your comments, let me know your thoughts. I will be watching some of the other games, potentially making some videos of the other matches, because we got to keep an eye on what's going on out there, and also because it's fun and I am happy to do it. As you guys can see, I'm not in my normal setup. I'll be like this for a couple of weeks, but I'll still be watching the game, still producing the videos for you. I want to keep this going, so please support the channel. We're going to do our best every day. And as always, to all the Chelsea fans and all the Chelsea players, come on you Blues.